Hey guys, Professor Bell, Comic Book University. Amazing Spider-Man issue number 63. What'd I tell you? What'd I tell you? This is Romeo and Juliet, baby. Tristan and Isolde and Hoden and Ilmui, all of those, right? Including that first one. Anyway, also, Venom watch? I don't know, I'm happy with my Black Panther watch, but I mean, Venom watch? That's kind of cool. This is cool. Let's get talking about who made this comic book. We'll go on from there. King's Ransom, Part 1. Nick Spencer is the writer, Federico Vincentini is the artist, Alex Sinclair on colors, and VC's Joe Caramagna on letters. Whole bunch of people doing the covers, whole bunch of people doing the variant covers, whole bunch of people doing this book, and Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. If it wasn't for them, none of this would have been possible. I'm just saying, I'm putting that out there. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's move on. So, like I said, first off, to get this out of the way is the idea that Baron Mordo was brought into this conversation with Kingpin and Norman Osborn because, I don't know, man, Baron Mordo has a little experience with demons and how to make them bleed and whatnot. Listen, the first thing that I saw when I'm looking at this, the first thing that I'm really looking at is, here's Baron Mordo, and it's like, oh, he's like the second best sorcerer in Earth, and it's a far stretch that he'd even be second best because Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange. Yeah. Then I had to go back and check myself because at the end of the day, Mordo is far more advanced than what Doctor Strange is. Strange wins by being sneaky, by being smarter, by being, just a little bit more deceptive in the things that he does and being able to come back in a roundabout way, set traps and, things like that. Waiting until the last moment, just getting that perfect bolt in as opposed to overwhelmingly destroying his foe. You know what I'm saying? You might think right away Doctor Strange is more powerful than freaking Galactus by the way that he wins his fights, but no, it's that he's simply a little bit smarter. He just plays things very differently in ways that his opponents don't expect. Baron Mordo, unless somebody decided to change this somehow, actually it probably would have been changed when Strange was around for like 2,000 years fighting the War of the Vishanti, all the dimensional spirits. But for the most part, Mordo was no slouch at all. Like, this is a guy who was far better trained and, aside from his bad attitude, far better fit to be the most powerful sorcerer on the planet. Not the Sorcerer Supreme, certainly, because he's a bad guy and he's always searching for more power. But at the end of the day, he's searching for more power because he already has a massive amount of power. So this actually is a really interesting thing, and I'm hoping that Spencer doesn't just play him. You know what I'm saying? Because Mordo should be this guy that when you see him, when he's about to do something, you're just like, oh crap, we're all about to die. That is what it should feel like. The idea of him being able to make demons bleed, yeah. So that means people like Daredevil, reference back to the Secret Empire stuff, shouldn't be able to. Anyway, we'll keep going on from there. Spencer did a great job, and I love the idea that he remembers his own books, his own stuff, and he's willing to reference back some of his stuff to the Secret Empire. I really look forward to him one day just giving his own account on how he was supposed to wrap all that stuff up. I don't care if it's in his memoirs. I would buy and read his memoirs just to see how he was going to end all of that before the toxicity started. Moving on from there, there's a slight gang war, Hammerhead and the Owl. I really miss Owl having those freaking Wolverine claws. Before Wolverine had the Wolverine claws, he still has the haircut that existed before Wolverine had the haircuts. I'm saying, bring back the Owl, release the Owl cut. All right, come on. And everything else in here, pretty much, we just reside with the Montagues and the Capulets, right? This is the Romeo and Juliet story. And it's beautiful and it's perfect. And I think it was Ed Brubaker, because I remember her appearing, the first time I remember reading her was in Captain America, I don't remember where, but Captain America, Janice Lincoln. So I'm pretty sure that there's a tentative pin on it. Somebody feel free to check me, correct me if I'm probably wrong. But, yeah, dude, I don't think that Brubaker ever thought about the idea of having Robbie Thompson's son get with Tombstone's daughter when when his daughter was being created, so to speak. I'm not talking about I'm talking about in the comic book, for crying out loud. Get your freaking minds out of the gutters. Bunch of psychopaths. Anyway, different than a psychopath or a sociopath, there's a psychopath. This is a really amazing story, man. I left it on this page. I'm gonna keep on staring until I say something. I gotta close the book afterwards. All of the hurt that these guys have done to each other. I mean, Tombstone was the bad guy in all of this, right? But sometimes you can get so caught up in your self-righteousness. And plus, let's remember, this guy, Robbie Thompson, he's a newspaper reporter. And he's one of those pushy investigative reporters, right? So he's going to be trying to get all sorts of information. He's going to be trying to exploit people's lives. Like, at the end of the day, stop and think about it for a second, all right? You look at an Oprah Winfrey. You look at a Dr. Phil. You look at all these different people and whatnot. Here, I remember watching this one episode of Oprah Winfrey, where there was this guy and this girl, and they were old. Like, they looked like they should be in that farmer's painting. Like, he was just a big freaking guy, And he had I think he had I forget what it was. There was something going on with him, and they made a mistake in his paperwork, and they accidentally surgically removed his gonads. Yeah. You can't reattach those. Like, when they're gone, they're gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could lose a hand, get your hand back. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about an eye. You can't really reattach a retina. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm saying, there are a few things, but that's another ball when you think about it. At the end of the day, there's some things that you can lose and you can't get them back, and it's messed up. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's a part of what makes you, when you think about the idea that, like a woman losing a breast due to breast cancer, it's a horrific thing that just, it changes you. You know what I'm saying? And you could try to not let it change you, but it does. Even if it just makes you tougher. It's the idea, it has a profound effect on you. And that's not even a sexual organ. That's a what do you call it? Cosmetic thing. Boobs are just cosmetic, especially if you're, older. Most people who get breast cancer are much older and past their baby rearing days. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a big part of your womanhood. So it's not a joke to talk about somebody, losing a nut. You know what I'm saying? It sounds funny, but it's not. It's a serious matter, goddammit. No, but seriously, when you think about it, it's messed up. And Oprah has these guys on there, and then at one point she says to him, "So why did you want to come on here and talk about this?" And he didn't know what to say. He's like, "Well, I just want people to be aware that these mistakes can happen." I think that in reality, he was trying to build a case so that he could sue them and try and get more money out of them for this really horrific, grievous mistake that the hospital made. I'm hoping that actually worked. But Oprah even asking that really espouses what reporters are. And yes, I do consider her a reporter. Gossip column, whatever the hell you want to call it. She is a reporter in many ways. She's finding things and she's talking about them. Yeah, she's also giving away cars. That one time she did that. That's the old people remember about her, right? But all of these people, I don't care if it's a Dr. Phil, I don't care if it's a freaking, maybe not a Jordan Peterson, he doesn't really do too many interviews, but even a Joe Rogan, all of these guys. It's all about, and actual, reporters on TV. It's all about, I want you to, for free, give me details about your life that you could otherwise monetize. But I want you to, for free, give me those. And maybe I'll give you a couple bucks to get an exclusive out of you. But for the most part, I'm going to profit off of what you're doing, whether it's a paycheck or a book deal or whatever it is. These are people who leech information from people in order to provide entertainment, and one of them is getting a check. The other one, who actually has the details and the stories and all that stuff, right? I love Joe Rogan, love what he does, but let's be honest, what he does, it's not very different from what Oprah does or used to do or whatever, Yeah, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, they could have just written their own book, put out like that. You telling me Oprah wouldn't have advertised it on the O network or whatever the hell that is? Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's a weird kind of relationship. So here's this tough as nails Robbie Thompson, and he's going out trying to find some more information on Janice Lincoln. I keep thinking Janice Griffin, and but this is he comes across this, and we come into this perfect story of Romeo and Juliet, which is the one that we're most familiar with here in, the America, Canada area, the Western world. We come into this incredible story where the parents are preaching, and Janice doesn't care about what her father thinks. They've got a very strange, estranged relationship, a strangely estranged relationship. But it is what it is. As far as him and Robbie, think about this. Robbie got advice from his father and his friend, Peter. Janice got advice from her father and her friends, right? Which one did they both relate to the other? Robbie talked about what my father said, not what Peter said. He talked about what his father had said. Janice talked about what her friends had said, not what her father had said. That dynamic. And even the dynamic of what's in the actual, you could break down these scenes so well. Expertly, that would be like me bragging. Think about just like how realistic every single one of us can relate to this in some way or another. Robbie's got one friend, right? One really close friend. Sure, there's plenty of other friends, but he's not going to them for advice. Janice, she'll go to, I keep on calling him Robbie. Crap, what the hell is his real name? Because Robbie's the dad. I'm not going to sit there and start, am I going to? I don't think I am. Anyway, young Thompson, okay? Look, younger girls especially, girls usually have a lot of, friends. They call it closed net, right? Guys will have a larger sect of friends, but those are mostly acquaintances. There's a reason why we have best friends. Hey, who's your best friend? You can say, who are your friends? Oh, I'm friends with, this guy, that guy, that guy, that guy, that guy. You can even say this girl and that girl. But who's your best friend? You limit that down to one person. And every single one of us does that. Every single one of us guys do that, and it's one of those things where it's like, if somebody else becomes your best friend, you kind of move the other person out. And it's like, this guy used to be my best friend. He didn't do anything wrong. It's just I become closer with this person. Like, there's that one confidant. You know what I'm saying? Girls will have, I don't know, a different kind of relation. I don't want to get, too much into that, but like that dynamic is there for us to witness, right? It's there for us to see. And it's just, this is Spencer having such a great sense of, I don't know, the eternal bonds that men and women have, and boys and girls, and where they get their influences from, right? It's the deeper you look into it, the deeper you can go, because he really has this down. I should mention the artwork is killer in this also. But back to the writing. My God, man. I highly recommend this for anybody. I don't care if you want to do a freaking psych study. You will find stuff to talk about with this. This is a fantastic run in an amazing comic book. I think that the only thing that any of us would ever question with Nick Spencer is how old this guy is. He looks younger than I am. He looks younger than I do. When I met him at a Toronto Fan Expo, Fan Expo Canada in Toronto, he looked much younger than me. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. Maybe that's just my perception. But like, all the things he's doing here are kind of dated. I don't know how many girls here, not women, how many girls who are watching, how many know Madonna's Papa Don't Preach? Like, is that still a popular song? It'd be cool if it is. It was a good song, Papa Don't Preach. I've been losing sleep. Papa Don't Preach. Yeah, that song. I'm keeping my baby, which is kind of like a double entendre. When I was a kid, I was like, she's pregnant? But it could also mean, my baby, my my boyfriend or my lover, my whatever, you know, my boo, my bae. Ooh, I'm gonna keep my boo bae. All that good stuff, you know. Singing probably just lost me half my subscribers. It's not the point, okay? I think that the reference, and there's several references in here, and several references I've been noticing that really appeal to me, you know, saying in my generation. I don't know, like, he's obviously a Gen Xer. I mean, come on, you know, saying he's one of my people, right? But I don't know how, I don't know how some of these things relate to the younger audience. Maybe they're just things that I noticed that the other audience will look at and just be like, wait, what? Huh? What's this stuff? I don't know. Maybe it's one of those retro things. Miley Cyrus was just praised. I think that her voice has really taken a dip. Miley Cyrus is really taking, I remember taking my daughter to see, you know, the Hannah Montana stuff and whatnot, you know, and my oldest daughter especially, but yeah, I've taken both my girls. For them to, like, her voice has taken a huge dip. Like, how many packs of cigarette is she smoking per day for her voice to start sounding like Janis Joplin when she was, because wow. But anyway, the thing is that she sang a bunch of old songs. She played cover songs, you know, her own version on some of these songs. She did some Queen. She did some, I don't know, some other songs, you know what I'm saying? Joan Jett, you know what I'm saying? She did some of these older songs. I'm like, okay, so retro, meaning my generation, for the current generations, you know, she's playing for the millennials. She's playing for the Gen Zs, I think, most especially the Gen Zs, you know? So it's a way to bring back the best era of music, 60s and 70s and 80s, and return them, you know, gift wrap them for a new audience. So I see the positive in both, but I just really went off on a tangent there. This was a really good comic book. You guys should check out this comic book because it's really fun. And Miley Cyrus's voice sounds garbled, like almost like Johnny Cash's. Oh my God, she could sing "Hurt," which I know is a Trent Reznor song, but it's not the point. I'll talk to you guys later. Like the video and watch an ad because, damn it, it's all about the fun here. I'll talk to you guys later. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.